Hey y'all, it's Christy from Teadoddles. It's time for a Motivational Monday. I'm doing it at the end of the day instead of the beginning of the day this time. So I have to pre-record it when I release it early. So uh, let's have a little end of the day motivation for the rest of the week, right? I put out a video yesterday for a tutorial for zipper tabs for the people that were asking for that. I showed you how to do it two different ways. One is in the seam and one is if it's hanging out of the seam. Okay, as you do it a little bit different for both of them. So hopefully I'll get to see those and you enjoy it. I will be working on some more tutorials. I'm changing things up a little bit, so I'm going to try to put out a tip on Tuesdays instead of a full tutorial. Tutorials I probably will get out more towards the weekend. I'm trying to get my schedule balanced again. It's been a little difficult with all the activities going on lately, so I'm just trying to get back in that balance. And then I was sick, and then just one thing after another. Y'all know how it is. It's life. That's just life, right? Just trying to get that smooth, to get back in my groove so I can have a balance for things. Did I put it out on Tuesday last week? I put out another tip. They're just the shorts. This one was about a pin cushion. If you have a divided pin cushion, you can write on there your needle size and the type of needle it is. This is for sewing machine needles now, because once I take it out the pack and I've used it, I don't want to put it back in the pack if I'm using a different needle, because I use different needles for different things. Like if I have a knit or if I have a heavier weight fabric than cotton, or for quilting, I have different needles for different things. So, and different sizes depending on the weight of fabric I'm using. So that is something I've done. I just write on there what kind it is and the size of needle, and I can stick it back in there when I change out my needles. So that works out really good for me. It is storming here today. It was supposed to storm all weekend. It didn't, which I was glad of. We had a hot air balloon festival thing that went Friday and Saturday. Saturday evening they didn't get to do it. The weather was a little iffy. And then Friday evening they did, and I got to go out and see the balloon glow up. I would add a picture to this, but I won't be editing this. I mean, my son won't be editing this, and I don't have a setup where I can edit it yet, so it'll just get uploaded. So I can't really add a picture to it. But it was really cool. They had, I don't know how many balloons they had out there, y'all. They had so many. It was probably like 20 of them out there in the field, and they just blow them up, and then they light the fire in it, and when it got dark, you could see it was lighting. It was really cool. And then they had rides, tethered rides for $20. My dad and I were going to do it, but it didn't go up very high. It just barely went even with the treetops. I've been in one before that went, it was in Kissimmee, Florida, and we went up high enough to see Epcot Center for it. So it went up pretty far, even though it was tethered. This one didn't go up that far, so we opted not to do it. But I did meet some new people, some friends, and then I went back out there Saturday, and Saturday they didn't light up and everything, and then we went to eat at a place called Cypress Grill, which was I had a band and stuff, so it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I was in the evening. I spent earlier in the day. I went to my parents. I actually went to the balloon festival with my parents because my son came home Friday from work, and he said, "Are you going out this evening?" I said, "I'm supposed to go to the balloon festival." He said, "Well, you may want to take a look at the car first." I said, "What do you mean? What happened to the car?" And I go out there, birds had pooped all over my car. I'm talking about my entire car was covered with bird poop. My car is white. This was like the purpley black poop. You parked under a tree, like a lone tree. It's like a median, and it's got a tree growing in it. He said it was the only car that had poop on it that was parked by that tree. like a flock of birds just came along and just pooped all over my car. And there was no way for me to get it off before I left. So my parents were going, so I wound up just asking them if they would take me. And we went. And then we ate dinner. And I still enjoyed the evening. But I had to wash my car the next day. I told him he should have washed it. But I needed it washed because I had stuff to do. He was still sleeping. So anyway. Poopy. Some people say birds pooping on you is good luck. So maybe it'll be a ton of good luck since they just pooped all over my car. I don't know. So, I got some things, small things for the shop. I'll be adding some more in there. Hopefully by the end of this week. I've got some other things I want to finish up those big bags I was doing before. But these little zipper pouches will be going in there. These are longer. These are just some leftover fabric I had. I did bags with this kind of crafty fabric a while back, and I had these leftovers forever to do bags with, and so these are long enough for crochet hooks and things like that. So this is the fabric. I think it's pretty much in all of them, and there's one that doesn't have that fabric in it. But so these will be going in the shop. And then I've been sewing more baskets. I finished up my pink. I've got some teal blue I'm going to be doing too. These are just the small little graduated baskets. And I've got 2 sets of those. And I was trying something different with the oval. They didn't quite get graduated. There's 2 that are about the same size and one that's bigger. But it has more of an oval shape. I'll still put them in the shop, but not exactly what I was going for. And this is falling out. Then I have one that is, I did bigger with my leftovers. So this is, since this is such a lighter weight, can be folded up like that. This is such a lightweight thing. It's more flexible than a regular basket. The ones I do with the rope are stiffer. I do have one over there I finished. I want to do some more. So there'll be a lot of baskets going up in there. I will have more bags. Like I said, I'm working on that. I wanted to show y'all this, which I think I made a blog post for it. But this is a little pouch. It's a quilted pouch. It hangs off the side of my table. I put like that Velcro, like the little tabs that you can get that you can pull off. That's the kind of Velcro I put on my table, but this is a regular Velcro that I sewed to the back of it because I couldn't put that on here. You can, but sticky back Velcro on fabric doesn't stay. Just fair warning. But I know that this block, which is a paper piece block, there is a free pattern on my blog for it. And I'm going to do a video about it to go along with it. That might be the tutorial this week. I'm waiting to, I'm thinking that that's what I'm going to do. But I sewed 4 of them together to make the front of this. And I want to say that I did a blog post about making this too, but I got to look. I can't remember for sure. It's just a little pouch with a longer top. So I could Velcro it, and it holds like my little mini vacuum cleaner for if I use, sometimes I use it on my sewing machine. It has brushes in it, and then there's a charger or something in here. This is, oh, this looks terrible, Scott, but this is to clean my iron with. Maybe I need to put a new one in there. It's just got fuzz stuck in it and stuff. So it just hangs off the side of my craft table, just to hold little things like that that I might need. So, but I'll probably do a tutorial. I'll do a tutorial for the paper pieced block to show y'all more about paper piecing. I enjoy paper piecing. If you, what do they call that? Is it, there's an abbreviation, and I feel like I'm going to say it wrong. FPP? Yes, FPP, Foundation Paper Piecing. And that's where you print something on a piece of paper and you sew on the paper and the lines in the numerical order that the lines indicate. it's a way to get more complex quilt blocks done. I've done some that I'll have to show y'all another day that I did. There's a place called, a website called Fandom in Stitches. I'll put a link down below for y'all. They have all kinds of quilt blocks for all kinds of movies and characters and stuff. And those are way more complex. And they're all free, but you can't, because they're characters and they have a name brand on them, you can't sell things you make with it because there's a license thing. And they have a big disclaimer about that on there. But they're fun to make. It's just fun to do. I did some for Warehouse 13, which was a show I used to watch, and I did an embroidery piece for the worm from the Labyrinth, because they would have testers for it to make sure, you know, things work right for it. So, excuse me, this pollen is still, I'm hoping all this rain washes some of it away and it'll clear all this up. I don't like having to do that while I'm on camera. It really bothers me. Or when I'm talking in general. So, all right. So that's a little bit about what's going on this week and coming up. I'm gonna start doing tutorials mostly for sewing. I do want to do tutorials for other things. So, that'll be coming up. I've seriously been thinking about breaking up. I don't know how many people want to see the DIY stuff on YouTube. Most of the requests I get are for sewing. So I may be leaning more towards sewing, even though I do the crochet and knitting, and I like the fiber arts. So I may be leaning more towards sewing, or I may do a separate channel. I don't know if I want to have two channels. We'll see how it goes. My DIY stuff mostly gets put on the blog. That butterfly wreath I have finished. I hope to get a blog post out this week. I wanted to get some plants to put in the little pots so I could have a final picture of it. So I haven't done that yet. So be looking for that as well. So the quote for today is from my calendar. It's a good quote. It is never too late to be what you might have been. Okay? So that's by George Eliot. So that's a really good quote because, you know, a lot of people think that, I hear this from people a lot, that they're too old, or there's just to change things, to do things differently. No, it's not. There's plenty of people who didn't make it big until later in their life. I'm not going to find a list of people. You can go look it up. There's actors and actresses that didn't start until later in their life. There's people who did really great things in the world that didn't get a start until later in life. And some of them even later in life than me personally. You know, I'm kind of starting over. I'm reinventing things. I'm doing different things. I look at my life sometimes and I think about the different parts of my life, and it feels like it was another lifetime ago. Because things will be so different in this moment than they were, you know, so many years ago. Sometimes even just a couple years ago. So, sometimes you have a long chapter of things in your life. Sometimes you have a short chapter of things in your life. And there's always room to grow and change and learn. I think that's what life is all about. Learning not just new things, but about yourself and who you are and what you want to be. So, I'm so sorry, y'all. So, just remember that it's never too late to be what you might have been or what you want to be now, right? So, I've definitely been on a journey of learning who I am again, or who I want to be now. We'll put it that way. So, I'm going to let y'all go before this gets any longer, and I will see y'all later in the week. And I hope y'all have a life lived creatively. Bye.